The biggest gift that I ever got from my dad as a musician was not about flash, it was not about speed or virtuosity, it's about tone. He would say, now Bill, just remember, play every note as if it's the last note you're ever going to play. And the idea being that, you should put meaning and feeling into every note you do. And tone ultimately is the definition of any master musician. It's not about how fast you can play, but how you're able to channel your own human experience through the instrument of your choosing. His touch on the banjo is very different from other banjo players. It's almost orchestral in a way. I think my dad thinks about the banjo as a little orchestra.
Plockton Air was a tune that came to me when we visited Plockton, a little village in Scotland. It's an old-fashioned place. It's my kind of place. I'm kind of out of date and out of style, and I like Plockton. And a friend of ours, a Scottish musician, he said, as the Scots, when it comes to fiddle music, the sadder the better. So I thought I'd write a tune to remember Plockton by. I decided I wanted to learn the fiddle when I was just a child. My sister played the violin. I was the little hillbilly in the family. And I would sneak her fiddle out to the barn in the chicken coop and scratch around on her fiddle, and she'd get upset and tell on me I'd get in trouble. But when I was 8, 9, 10 years old, I was trying to figure that thing out. It was a complicated piece of business, but I stayed after it and finally learned to play a little bit on one.
He composes through the fiddle and the banjo. Those are his instruments. But at the end of the day, he's a composer, and he writes music that taps into just a wide spread of musical and historical contexts. He's fascinated by parlor music and lullabies and the gentler side of the banjo, if you will.
The parlor banjo was very popular back in the late 1800s on up to the turn of the century. A lot of ladies played the banjo. It was a proper instrument, and they played beautiful music on the banjos, classical music quite often. My grandmother played the banjo, and she could play lullabies and beautiful things on the banjo. So when I was a child, I'd say, Granny, get your banjo. And it's time for me to go to bed. I wanted a banjo tune. I didn't want a bedtime story. So she'd play the banjo for me. She was a wonderful person. She liked to get in a canoe and paddle up the Tennessee River with me in it. I was a little tot, and we just had a grand time. She was a great grandmother.